Hook rate is something I'm looking at. Is the hook even efficient? Hook retention, like the hold rate. Am I holding people? Are people not interested? If they're watching 10% of the video and dropping off, then we need to do something about the core part of the video here. Click-through rate. Are we presenting the offer well enough? Like, is this actually compelling enough to get people to click? If it's a low click rate, you're not giving them enough of a reason to click. Your CPA, obviously, if you have a really high CPA, you're doing something wrong, because at the end of the day, we want that figure to be as low as possible. So, but then and also just making sure you don't change too much. It's just a science experiment at the end of the day. You don't want too many variables, because then you can't pin down what variable actually changed something. So like, we only do like 3 maximum variations, and we'll be testing stuff against each other. But yeah, in general, they're kind of the figures where we are, and like CPM as well. But yeah, normally kind of looking at that data to make our decisions on what we can do to change it. It's normally not as complicated as people think.
Hey, this is where I talk to the best drivers of the direct-to-consumer industry, like founders, investors, marketers, CROs, agencies, and dwell into strategies that they've been using to build some great D2C businesses. Let's go on the D2C drive. I'm your host, Ashish Ramamurthy.
My name's Fraser. I am the co-founder of Fragell. We're an ad creative agency for D2C and CPG brands. We're based in the UK, but we work primarily in the UK and the US. So, I mean, my career started in traditional filmmaking. I studied to be a cinematographer, went to film school, all that stuff. And then in my third year at film school, I ended up getting poached to work at one of the UK's leading social media agencies at the time. And I was their CEO's lead videographer. So I did a lot of personal brand stuff. Like, that was primarily where what I ended up doing. But obviously, being there, I absorbed a lot of social. Like, essentially, they would build organic social pages, and then they would use that reach in order to sell that to brands, basically. So it got me really interested in the whole organic side of social media marketing and how important video was at the time. Facebook had kind of just brought out their video platform, Facebook video. So it was like a really crazy time for organic stuff. And I got really into it. And at the time me and my business partner had a production company, but it was mostly just, we were filming like weddings and promotional videos and like all types of different stuff, whatever kind of work came our way. But then after about like 3 months of working that agency, I decided to do my own thing. So me and my business partner decided, you know what, let's do this production stuff properly. Let's use what we learned at that agency and bring it to other people. So we landed our first contract working for a software company, and we were just making their organic videos essentially. So primarily, website videos, social videos, all that stuff. We were there for about 1.5 years. They were like our main customer, and then we pick up other stuff on the sidelines. But then it wasn't until the pandemic really where we really when we really changed direction into D2C and ad creative. I got very heavily involved within like the D2C community. I had a few dropshipping stores, all the usual story which most people in D2C tell you. So yeah, and then I thought, well, you know what, like, we can make video, we can make ads, so let's give it a go. So we just spent like 1 year researching and trying to get some clients in the D2C space. And then 3 years later, here we are. For making content for some of the biggest brands, I'd say, in the world, arguably at this point, all from like a little studio in Manchester in the UK.
That's pretty nice. Yesterday we just had a chat around attribution with somebody, and there was one thing which came up in there that, okay, hey, while all of the stuff is great, data and all of that gives you, obviously everybody needs to know that, where a lot of people miss out on the creatives when it comes to telling their story, telling about why they built their company, why, and plugging that into different situations in people's lives so that people could relate to the product that you sell, right? So people were wondering, how do you go about it? Like, what are the different storytelling obviously the first thing people ask is, okay, there needs framework. I wanted to start off on that because I think this lies a very true part of what you do. When somebody comes to you and says, okay, we've been running ads, but we've been doing very static ones, right? We've been throwing out offers and all that bad stuff that people do to get people to come in, or they hope that people will come and visit the store, right? What are the things that you have seen that people come to you with and you are like, you know what, this is why you need us, right? This is why you do what you're doing wrong. And how do you get that storytelling element, especially in a creative? Let's start off with that because I want to answer to the people who ask this question and be like, okay.
I come from filmmaking, right, where story is the most important thing. And I have to say, probably an unpopular opinion, I don't think story is relevant almost at all in paid media creative. Essentially, you have frameworks, but not necessarily. When I say story, the story follows a 3-act structure, right? Beginning, middle, and end, right? That's, arguably anything fits into that. But an actual story structure is, we have an equilibrium, and then there's something that happens to destroy that equilibrium, and then by the end of it, everything's fine. That can't work with an ad creative. You don't have enough time in order to show people a story. Nobody's going to get invested in the story. Instead, you use emotions, and it's all about capturing attention using those emotions, right? Essentially, what you want to do is, let's say top of the funnel video, the main purpose of the top of the funnel is to educate someone. So instead, you're going from a person having no idea about the product at all to being educated on the product and then finally purchasing the product. So it's more of a customer journey and a customer story than it is a necessarily story inside your ad creative. You can't tell someone a story using a UGC creative in 15 seconds. It's impossible. It isn't going to happen.
Let's say if you're selling homemade soap or something like that, right? Whereas, how do you go about placing that? How do you define your first ad?
The first thing that I do is what are your USPs? What separates you from me going into the supermarket and buying some soap? Okay, you're going to have your USPs because otherwise nobody's going to buy you. Nobody's going to pay the premium that comes with a homemade product if there's not extra benefits to it, right? So a perfect example of this actually is one of our clients, Sugar Baby Care. They help with depigmentation. So people of darker skin tones, for example, they might get dark pigmentation in their armpits, stuff like that, right? So what this soap does is it's homemade and it helps relieve that, right? That's a main USP there. It's not just soap that cleans you, but there's another element to go around with it. And what's the main thing? Why will people buy that? Because they're suffering from lack of confidence because of dark pigmentation on their skin. Done. Problem, solution, sorted. That's how you're going to sell that, because you're connecting to people on an emotional level, which is, I'm sure there's many women which won't wear skimpy clothes, let's say, during the summer because they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel confident doing it. So what are you doing? This soap is giving women their confidence back. There's your angle, right? So it's about breaking it down to what this actually does. You can't just say, it's the same thing, right? When you ask an agency, well, who do you serve? Everyone that needs Facebook ads. I mean, that's a big pool of people, right? Instead, you need to go, actually, I'm going to serve dentists in the UK who provide Invisalign. Boom. You've just gone from a sea of people to a pond, right? So that's what you need to do. Same thing when it comes to your ad creative for D2C brands.
Nice. So go primarily, have a shark eye and go and fetch your fish primarily. There was another conversation which came across where catalog ads, especially when especially to a remarketing thing, right? So you figure out what people wanted and you're throwing out catalog ads. And some people had this entire thing that, hey, you know what? Some people show the same product again and again to me. Pretty not good. And some people are sending me stuff which I don't think I want to buy. And when they feel that, sometimes they feel that, why are they even sending me, right? So because they chose to, and you can opt out of it. But how do you really crack image ads, right? Because video, we'll go to video in a bit. but how do you crack imaging?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to image ads, there's simple formulas and templates that are basically used all the time, and they just recycle. Cheeky plug, but I have Creative OS, which is a Figma-based, template-based solution for people that want to create amazing converting static ads. In Figma, you just replace the images, replace the branding, replace the text, and you've got a highly converting image ad, right? That shows how easy static ads are. That we've come up with a solution which is template-based where you can do that. It's the fundamentals, right? That's what it comes down to. There's nothing new, nothing crazy, but it just depends on what type of ad you want to create. Do you want to create something which is pointing out your USPs? And go for a call-out ad. If you want to go for something which is retargeting, then give them an offer within the ad creative. Just a simple shot of your product with some header text which is calling out your core demographic. Maybe put a little price tag on it or a sticker saying, buy today and get a free X, whatever. Everything follows the same format. All you need to do is go through the Facebook ad library. You'll see the majority of people's ads look the same. It's just different messaging and different photography. If you really want to stand out, get some really cool photos taken that you can use. Really customize stuff as much as you can, and just experiment. That's the best thing about image ads is you can create 30 of them in an afternoon. Exactly right. And then all the messaging from that you learn, that copy is absolutely killed. Take that into your videos and then base videos off it, right? It's a fantastic way to create a lot of content and to use a lot of variations very quickly and to test out different types of messaging. But there's no real secret formula. All you need to do is look through Foreplay or look through, the ads library, and you'll see pretty much everything is the same, because stuff works. But then you have other types of ad which are a little bit lo-fi and trying to fit into the organic feed, ones with signs, people holding signs. That's one of my favorites at the moment. That's working really well for some of our clients. The sticky note stuff, that's going a little bit viral at the moment in the D2C community. It works really great on TikTok. It's now working really great in static ads. There's different ways that you can just spice it up to look a little bit different, a little more organic. Using UGC images in there as well is a great idea. So whatever works for your demographic, it's all about experimenting. I can't sit here and tell you that it's a one size fits all. Something that works for a 50-year-old woman isn't going to work for a 20-year-old man. Right.
Though it comes to demographics, do you think the face matters when it comes to who is on the ad, who is talking? The accent, the language, the expression, the delivery, all of that. Does it really matter? Especially, for example, say you're in UK and you've been thrown out from this ad done by an Australian creator, right? The accent is different, but the content is pretty good. So
yeah, massively. What it is mostly because people in Australia have completely different problems to us in the UK, right? If you live in Australia, the chances are it's sunny 365 days of the year. You're spending it on the beach. Your quality of life is entirely different to someone in the UK. Same goes for the UK and US. You just have different struggles. You can't relate. That's the number one thing, right? Is think, can this person relate to the customer, right? Is this person the customer? And because if you hold up, if you're doing a video about someone with acne, for example, right, they're really suffering with acne, I don't want to hear that from some, 20-year-old, perfect skinned, it just doesn't work, right? Instead, I want to see photos of that person when they had acne, maybe see acne scars, all that stuff, because me as a consumer can see that and go, oh, they're just like me. Well, if it worked for them, it can work for me, right? So I see all the time, people just ignoring demographics altogether. Your products are being bought by 50-year-old women, but you're advertising your product with Gen Z people. What? It's not going to work.
But see, people, some Facebook, even people who are in Facebook say that you want to go broad because that's how it works. But then I see this mistake again and again, as you pointed out, that people between 20 to 40 is my target audience. And
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. There isn't. There's very few products, excluding obviously things like which everyone uses, like an Apple laptop. There's very few things that go across multiple generations, right? Like I just bought a robot Hoover. My mum, who is not buying a robot Hoover, there is no way that she's letting a robot roam around her house and Hoover her home. It's not going to happen, right? But instead, someone young like me that's out of the house all the time and doesn't have time to clean, then yeah, I'll probably think about that, right? So yeah, your target audience isn't as big as you think. Look at the demographic. Who's engaging in your adverts, and then target them, right? Like we had a client, skincare client, who for the first like 3 months of us working with them, we were essentially like, we had like Gen Z people in their adverts because, you know, it was a skincare brand. Like, but then it wasn't until we looked at the demographics that we saw 50 plus were buying this product. Well, let's rethink the whole thing. And we started putting people that were 50 plus in it. People related to it. Facebook pushed it to those people because they were relating to it. Happy days. It's all great going broad, but you need to be showing your demographic in the content so that those people react to it. So Facebook knows to push it to them, right?
One is age, other is interest. How deep do you go when it comes to targeting?
I mean, we don't run any paid media, so I'm kind of out of that. But like from our clients, everyone goes broad. Nobody targets. They maybe gate it with age or gender, whatever. But yeah, not much really. So like, I'm no media buyer.
No, I get that, but if you're even creating content, I think what you're saying is it's important that. Okay, if you're coming to me with a single script, with the same delivery, but let me tell you that I want to pick up different faces and run it by you. Do you tell that to your clients, or this is an inbound thing which comes? How does it go?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I always say, and you'll hear me on Twitter talk about this, is that creative is the new targeting. It's the only way that you can target people. And that's by showing your demographic inside the video. That's one major thing. Another one is calling out your demographic. If you want to reach gym goers and you're a protein brand, then at the start of your video, say, if you go to the gym 3 times a week, then you need to try this protein company, right? This is simple stuff. You just need to think about it. I think a lot of people are thinking too broad. They're thinking too Apple. Everyone wants to be Apple. Everyone wants to be a leading D2C brand. Dude, they could put a photo of a bin bag up and they would still get sales. They're Apple, okay? So like let's think about the basics here of like, what can we do? If you were your customer, what would you want to see that would make you buy it?
Yeah, I completely agree on that. All right, so let's head into video because I love video.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah, so I come across different kind of videos. So let me tell you my experiences first. So one, either is like a great person I know and he's selling it, but sometimes I get pissed why the hell he's selling it. That's one question which arises. Two, there's this amazing relatability for a situation which somebody takes and then brings their product on. And the way it's curated, well, it's amazing. And but I see a lot of bad video, thing as well, where people just think that, without a good hook, you just come and start blabbering stuff, people hear you, right? So, what are some of the good things that you guys work on? What are some of the things which is working for your clients? And what are some of the bad things that you think people should not do when it comes to video?
Yeah, well, the first one, you kind of touched on it a bit there, but paying too much attention to the hook. The hook is really important. Don't get me wrong. Like, people aren't going to stop for a boring hook, but it's not the most important thing. It shouldn't be, for a start, it shouldn't be the only variation you're changing. There's so many ad creative agencies, they essentially just make UGC, that they will give you a video and then it's like, oh, you get 3 hooks with it. Great. Okay, fine. Like that's just, it's not going to do much. Instead, what you need to be doing is you need to be testing your CTA, your copy, a whole new re-edit of the body. Like, all this stuff affects performance, and that's what you need to be trying. So that's the first mistake I see, is that people only using hooks as variations. In terms of what's working really well for our clients is, like I always preach, is that you need variety within your ad account. And so all of our clients that have variety in terms of the deliveries that we're giving them, like some GIFs in there, some static, some UGC, some high production, they're the ones seeing the best results. because you're having a diverse amount of content, which means a diverse amount of people are going to get it. Different people relate to different content, and that it just works, right? Like Aloha, they're one of our long-standing clients, and every month they get UGC and they get high production and lifestyle, and they're absolutely killing it on Facebook. And the reason they are is because they have so many different types of ads, right? Because they're all serving a different purpose. So diversify your ad account is the one piece of advice I can give anyone when it comes to video. Test out as many different hooks as you can, as many different variations of stuff. Pay attention to your hold rate. Are people actually watching this video, or are they just clickbaiting essentially? Because that's another thing. Your hook and everything needs to be relevant, not just eye catching. It needs to serve a purpose. You should target people with your hook. That's what I normally say.
Recently, obviously, with a lot of these AI coming, static ads is a little bit easy to do because, hey, okay, you can place a product with a background and you can generate different kind of background and you can do all of that and you can, fix that. But you can't do that to video, right? Mm-hmm. You need a face for that. I don't know if there are pretty cool generative AI stuff going on out there, but when it comes to finding these influencers and finding these, getting your customers talk about your creatives, is there a process the brand needs to go when it comes to this is the kind of content we need, this is how they should deliver? I'll keep it really raw that, okay, you know what, like we just want you to tell what's the best experience you've had with my product and I just want that content. How do you tell people to go approach to even capture this?
Totally depends on the type of UGC you want to make. I mean, the most truthful UGC is asking your customers, right? And I saw the guys from Obvi post this recently, and it was like, get on a Zoom call with your customers, offer them a $200 gift card to get on the Zoom call with you, ask them a load of questions, record the call, make that into ads. Fantastic way of creating like authentic UGC, and that will perform very well. But the more traditional types of UGC is obviously people use UGC creators. I have a really mixed feeling about, probably going to annoy a lot of people, but I think UGC creators are, I don't really see the point in them. I think if you're a UGC creator, you're not a UGC creator. You're a creator. I could give you, if I taught you how to use a good camera, the chances are that you could probably shoot a pretty nice studio video. You're not just a UGC creator, you're a creator. I've seen people, UGC creators, making this amazing piece of like a studio video, a product video, and then they're calling it a UGC video just because they're UGC creators. That's not how it works. Like the best like way to do this, I found anyways, to use actors. The majority of the UGC creators that we use are actors. We've trained them on how to shoot stuff, or if not, they already have experience on doing it, and we tell them.
When you mean actor, is it a pool that you've created, or these are actors who work in the industry?
A mixed bag really. We have actually all of our creators have worked in traditional advertising before. They're just actors, right? They could be in a film next week, they could be in a TV show the other. And then we've just shown them how to shoot stuff essentially. But all of our UGC is scripted to the max. Everything is down to the full stop and the beats, like everything is prepared. So they have to do very little when it comes to actually making the stuff, because that's the best way. We're the creatives here. We know what we're doing, so we just get them to shoot it essentially. So that's the best way that I've found to kind of create UGC in terms of briefing and concepts. Come up with a concept, script it, build a video in pre-production, then send it, and then from there, when you get the footage back, get the raw footage, edit it yourself, and then from there you can craft a pretty nice video.
In the e-commerce industry, right? A few people have funded, few people have made the money so they could put on a lot of, money to create this kind of videos and go viral, blah. But we know there's a lot of folks out there who are still coming about and, still in their 6-figure, 7-figure, but still don't want to spend that much. They want to make sure that they have a running ship. When it comes to kind of like the video requirements coming in from these guys who don't want to spend that much, what kind of requirements come across your front? What are their problems, when it comes to approaching this?
Yeah, because they don't, if you're starting up or you're scaling essentially. When you're scaling, you have a few ways to do it. You can pay creators and you can get these videos made, or you can just focus on like what you can do cheap. So static ads, fantastic way to scale, make a load of money, then use, actually get footage shot and stuff like that. But then another easy way is just shoot stuff yourself. You have a phone, you have your product, shoot stuff. Like, it's not difficult. Ask your sister, ask your mum, whoever, to handle the product if it needs a female's hands in it. All this kind of stuff, right? It's not difficult. Just shoot stuff yourself. And then there's incredible software like 11 Labs, which will AI generate a voiceover for you. So you don't even need a female voiceover if you're a male. Like, this stuff is like, you don't need to overthink it. Just do stuff to get you where you need to be, and then do it. Don't think bigger than where you are and go, oh, well, I can't do UGC because I don't have the money to pay a female creator. Go ask your girlfriend, go ask your mum, go ask anyone to handle the product. You film it, AI generate a voiceover, happy days, done.
I see a lot of common sense thing coming out of you that,
Yeah, because it's not, I mean, this is the thing. Like, I say this all the time. You need to keep it simple. People think too big because they're always comparing themselves to these massive D2C brands that they see on Twitter and YouTube. You're not there yet. You don't have, 100K in profit coming in that you can spend for stuff. So you need to think smart on how you're going to do stuff. And with the rise of AI, this has never been easier to do stuff like this, right? You have ChatGPT can write your scripts for you. 11 Labs can do the voiceover for you. It's, this stuff is really simple. And then when you have the money, look at getting an agency to do it if you don't want to do it anymore. The amount of calls that I have with brands which are making 20K a month, and they're like, I really want an agency to come in and do this. I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna probably cost like 30%, 50% of how much you're making at the moment. Like, it isn't the time to be doing this. You need to learn how to do this stuff yourself and then bring in an agency.
Interesting. You pick the cards that you want because, I mean, that's what you don't want to run. Okay, I got that. Since we're on the AI topic, right? Do you think anything when it comes to video creation, apart from the scripting, right? Apart from all of that, I see a lot of virtual influencers now coming in. Some people are going crazy on that, but I still don't see the point of them. But that's just my view. Where do you think AI is going to come in when it comes to generative stuff? Especially video.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's, like I said, there's great ways to generate voiceovers and all that stuff that comes with it. So, like, definitely use stuff like that. There is some great AI editing tools and stuff that are slowly coming out. I'm actually trying to find the name of one right now, but I mean, a great one is Pencil. Pencil is incredible, and you should definitely use that if you are like a small budget. Like, you put in all your assets and it makes a load of ads for you, and then you can test them within there and everything like that. So definitely check out Pencil when it comes to like AI stuff, for sure. But like, I mean, we use ChatGPT a little bit, but we still feel like it needs a human element in there in order that's an actual creative that knows what they're doing. So we don't rely heavily on that, but we do use like 11 Labs voiceovers quite a lot and stuff for variations. But yeah, I mean, there aren't that many good tools at the moment. There's a lot coming out, but they're not all good. Basically, is the easiest way to think about it.
I've heard you talk a lot about data-driven ad creation. When you mean by this, what kind of data do you really look at? Customer level, creator level, or even performance level, right? So would love to know what are some of the approaches that you take fueling data to creating your ads.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's probably going to give you the same answer to this, but like for me, it's hook rate is something I'm looking at. Is the hook even efficient? Hook retention, like the hold rate. Am I holding people? Are people not interested if they're watching 10% of the video dropping off, then we need to do something about the core part of the video here. Click-through rate, are we presenting the offer well enough? Like, is this actually compelling enough to get people to click it? It's a low click rate. You're not giving them enough of a reason to click. Your CPA, obviously, if you have a really high CPA, you're doing something wrong, because at the end of the day, we want that figure to be as low as possible. So, but then and also just making sure you don't change too much. It's just a science experiment at the end of the day. You don't want too many variables, because then you can't pin down what variable actually changed something. So like we only do like 3 maximum variations, and we'll be testing stuff against each other. But yeah, in general, they're kind of the figures where we are, and like CPM as well. But yeah, normally kind of looking at that data to make our decisions on what we can do to change it. It's normally not as complicated as people think. Like you just need to know what's working and what your customer is connecting to, essentially.
I mean, do your primary research before doing all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So, you touched upon CPA. So, I just have one question, I think, coming about. What helps lower CPA?
What helps lower CPA? Yeah, I mean, it's a convoluted question, isn't it? But good creative, essentially, I think, is the answer. Like, actual creative which connects to the customer. It makes them want the product. It allows them to know what's solving a problem. Like I saw a creative the other day, which was from who's it from? I can't. It was from one of these like shake companies, essentially, and the video was just listing all the ingredients. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make me want to buy it. That just tells me what's in it, right? What makes me buy this is you saying to me that it will make my life better because my because I'll get less headaches because I won't be as dehydrated, right? Like stuff like that. Like you want to make people think that this that they need this product because it solves a problem for them. So yeah, I mean the secret to low CPA is just good creative that connects with the customer. It ticks all the boxes in what they want, and a good variety as well, because lots of different ad creative, which means you have lots of different shots of the lottery in order to find that winning ad that brings your CPA down. And just, paying attention to the stuff. Don't just do a shotgun approach, kind of really lean into the data, what's working, question your customers, have a look at the comments. What are people sharing? What are people reviewing? All this stuff will help you guide to make better creative so you can ultimately lower your CPA and become more profitable.
I'm frustrated with one question which comes across even my front when I'm trying to run ads or anything when I do with my clients or brands. I'm sure you also face this question. Please make this video go viral.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, I mean, no, it's not impossible. Give me $100,000 and I'll put that behind spend and I can make it go viral. You know what I mean? Like it's a different thing where this is one of the reasons why we moved from organic to paid is because when organic, that's all that anyone is chasing is make my video go viral. And I'm not an organic person. The organic formula is changing daily, and so I have no idea when it comes to that. But like,
I know.
So if you're running for that, you need to go to someone that is good at organic content and knows the way to do it. Like I don't think there's any going viral when it comes to paid media. The only way that you can go viral is you get like super cheap CPMs and it's being thrown to everyone, right? So like if that's the case, again, just make funny, engaging content, which which makes people want to watch it, add value to someone's life.
That still stands, right? Like in terms of like, okay, you want to make people make the video go viral. Either make people angry with it, either make people laugh with it, either make people cry with it, whatever, right? Just like focus on one emotion, paint that emotion so hard in people when you're doing that video that people will cry and say to your mom and like, oh my God, this made me cry, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the best way to think about it, I was reading something about the guys at when they were first making BuzzFeed and like what their formula was for making a viral video, because those guys in 2010 were the kings of viral videos, and they essentially said they were making videos that could be shared multiple times, i.e. you share it to your best friend because they think it's hilarious, and then they're sharing it to their best friend because they think it's hilarious as well. Think about multiple shares. What can go the distance in terms of people sharing it between their friends? Easier than ever on TikTok. How many times are you sending stuff to your wife or to your boyfriend or to your best friend about a video that you've just seen on TikTok? Most people are probably doing that on the daily because it's like, hey, I've thought of you and I've sent this, right? So it's that thing to think about multiple shares on a level. How many shares can you get out of this piece? If it relates to a lot of people, you're going to get more.
Yeah. All right. And do you suggest people copy somebody else's viral, whatever, the study their viral entire in terms of video? They just copy that entire thing for a different narrative. Do you suggest people to do that, or you're like a proper creator where you need to tell your story, you need to do all this stuff, right? What do you?
Yeah, you should never copy someone's work. Like, you can use it as inspiration, but you should never copy someone's work because not only is that immoral, it's also illegal. So like my worst nightmare is when a dropshipper gets on the phone with me and they want to start making different creative, and they say their current solution is by ripping it from other people's videos. That's not the way you should do it. You should not be making creative like that. Like, invest some money into actually making this stuff or make it yourself. Like, there's no reason. I see some awful things on Twitter where people have literally carbon copied people's ads and like put your own spin on it, make it different for your product. Don't just do the same thing.
But what could work out is doing a remix of a viral video, right? For example, somebody just fell from a boat and it was a funny video. Just take a different version of that and then, do something about it. Because TikTok runs on this kind of stuff, right? Like, somebody does a dance and you copy it, you also go viral with it. But does that only work for organic, or does that also work?
Yeah, I mean, you legally can't do that with paid because you're making money off someone else's work. So it's the same way. It really bugs me when people use copyrighted music in their ads because it's fine on TikTok apparently. Different kettle of fish. With TikTok, there's I can't remember what the law is called, but essentially if you're adding extra value to something, so if you're dancing to a song, you can use that song in your video because you're adding extra value to it and you're not necessarily making money from it. When it comes to paid, your main purpose for that is to make money out of it, so it's illegal. Like, yes, you might see other people do it, but eventually they will get found out and they will get sued. Like, that's just how it goes. So do yourself a favor and don't do that.
Yeah. You're going to have to burn a lot of money if you get caught.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Fraser. This has been an amazing chat. I think,
no worries, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you had fun and got some of the things out of the system.
Yeah, it was really great. It was great. Thank you for having me.
Same here. Likewise. So friends, please go ahead and check out Fraser. And if you've got any sort of video, any sort of ad creative work, he's the guy to go because this guy has done some crazy work out there for e-commerce world. So go and hit him up. And you're currently in London?
I'm in Manchester, so I'm like 4 hours away from London. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, but if you're in the UK, you should definitely go out and, meet Fraser and have a face-to-face thing. So thank you so much for joining in and get your ad creative right there.
No worries. Thanks, mate.